Hello, my name is Estela Onsins from the Transmedia Catalonia Research Group at the Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona. Today, I'm going to give a presentation on training digital media accessibility, the professionals of the future. This presentation has been divided in 7 main points. First, we will explain the digital media landscape in the European Union. Then we will outline the European digital media accessibility legislation and standards. We will then explain the digital media accessibility in our current Erasmus Plus projects, which are first, easy access for social inclusion training. Second, impact, inclusive method based on the perception of accessibility and compliance testing. Third, LTA, live text access. We will end up the presentation with some final remarks. According to Eurostat statistics from 2018, in the European Union, 56% of people aged between 16 and 74 participated in social networks. EU's social network participation rate has steadily increased in the last years. Social network participation includes activities such as creating a user profile, posting a message, or other contributions to social networks. Among EU member states, the social network participation rate was highest in Denmark, 79%, ahead of Belgium, 73%, and Sweden and the United Kingdom, with 70%. At the opposite end of the scale, this share was below 50% in 3 member states: France, 42%, Italy, 46%, and Slovenia, 49%. In any case, it is obvious that nowadays nobody can live in an analog society, and thus the answer is evident. We have no choice but to be digital. For that, we should have sufficient digital skills to be able to live in the so-called knowledge society. A close look at how is the internet traffic in 24 hours shows that every day 20 billion emails and 150 million social media posts are written, and 650 million online searches are carried out in the European Union. These statistics show how much the internet has transformed our lives. Yet not everything has kept pace, because not all content available in the web is accessible. In the European Union, there are 80 million people with some form of disability. The general concept of accessibility, which is previously applied mostly to physical, public and private spaces, now applies to the digital world. Thanks to the widespread popularity of new technology, the Internet. Today, the definition of accessibility has expanded to include digital media, like websites and mobile apps. The Internet continues to provide digital solutions for a wider audience, making it imperative for developers, designers, and content creators to incorporate elements of digital accessibility. The first step towards a more accessible digital media was the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, which came into force in 2008, and it has derived into 3 main directives. The European Web Accessibility Directive, which establishes common accessibility requirements, enabling everyone to read, understand, and complete administrative procedures on public sector websites and mobile applications. Second, the European Accessibility Act, which sets common accessibility requirements, including a number of key ICT products and services. And third, the Audiovisual Media Service Directive, which covers the means to achieve accessibility such as with sign language, subtitling for the deaf and hard of hearing, and audio descriptions for both television broadcasting and video on demand. These accessibility directives do provide the legal framework and tell member states what they have to do, but not how to do it. In order to fill this gap, there are the European Harmonized Standards. A standard EN 3015549 is a tool to show compliance with the Web Accessibility Directive. This technical document incorporates the latest accessibility requirements for web and mobile accessibility developed by the World Wide Web Consortium, known as W3C, in their WCAG 2.1 guidelines. And standard EN 17161 is a tool to guide design for all accessibility following a design for all approach in products, goods, and services. These directives and standards are important in terms of training because all of them have a close relation to the digital competence, which it opens up a new field for professionals, consumers, education, and the society in general. In 2006, the European Commission proposed 8 key competencies: literacy, multilingualism, numerical, scientific, and engineering skills, digital and technology-based competencies, interpersonal skills and the ability to adopt new competencies, active citizenship, entrepreneurship, and cultural awareness and expression. In the specific field of translation studies, the digital landscape has changed the role of the translators because translation studies were initially text-based and nowadays are mostly digital-based. The increasing demand of the digital competence at a professional level is changing the translator's role. In addition, if we add the accessibility layer, digital skills are even more important to perform a job in the accessibility field. How can or should these new skills and competencies be defined, described, acquired, and recognized? Well, at our research group, we have at the moment 3 ongoing Erasmus Plus projects, which aim at providing the necessary skills to professionals to ensure effective and accessible solutions in the digital media field. The projects are EASIT, Impact, and LTA. These programs share a common structure, which is based on different stages. Stage 1 is skills, framework, and best practices. In this stage, a combination of quantitative tools, namely a comprehensive online questionnaire and qualitative tools such as in-depth interviews, is used to identify the required skills and to gather current methodological best practices used in academic and in-house trainings. Stage 2 is the curriculum and course design. Based on the profile or profiles delivered by the previous stage, this stage develops the curriculum and course design for each different project based on certification guidelines. This includes the structure of the course modules, learning outcomes, teaching learning contents and methods, assessment methods and questions, suggestions for teaching materials format. It also delivers a possible implementation plan to make the materials accessible to a wide range of trainees with different disabilities. The results are validated through external experts. Stage 3 is the development of open educational resources, and this stage draws in some respect from social constructivism approach in order to ensure a realistic learning experience. Authentic and contextualized materials from current professional practices are used to simulate real lives. The results are tested and validated through prospective trainees, students, and teachers. In some projects, we also have a stage 4, which is the evaluation. It's an experimental approach involving qualitative and quantitative data, with pre-test and post-test design to test the participants' performance before and during intermediary testing for formative evaluation, and also after completion of the course. This is done in ecologically valid conditions. Finally, stage 5 is certification, and this stage follows the rule and procedures established by certification agencies in order to ensure proper certification pathways for the professionals trained with the curriculum and materials provided in these projects. In this slide, you find an overview of the EASY project, with the goal of creating a curriculum for training easy-to-read professionals in the field of media accessibility. The focus has been placed in applying easy-to-read concepts to the field of media accessibility, in particular subtitling and audio description. In the Impact project, the goal is training materials for accessibility mediators, with the focus on creating a curricula to raise awareness and meet social needs in the digital area to promote social inclusion. Finally, in the LTA project, the goal is to design a harmonized and certified curriculum for real-time intralingual speakers and velotypists. The focus is on these two main jobs: real-time intralingual speakers and velotypists. In this slide, you will find a direct link to our current Erasmus Plus projects: EASY, Impact, and LTA. In this slide, you will find the bibliography that we have used to prepare this presentation. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and if you have some questions, please let me know.